These rapid assignment to make money, yes, but they come in for one more thing, and we're going to talk about it. Girl, I got the tea for you. Today I want to talk about nurse extramarital affairs that is disrupting the unit for other nurses. It happens too in nursing. At some point in your life, if you've been working for many years, you're going to come across people that you enjoy being around 24/7. You enjoy them so much that it becomes possible it may affect your home life. Be honest, you're working 12 hours as a nurse, you're picking up shift, you're there every day, and you're working with the same coworker. Eventually, a form of bond entanglement, everything starts to be blurred. And the only family you have is where at work you're enjoyed. It often make you think you get so entangled that you forget you have someone at home. When you have, I'm working on the unit and the nurse, and there's husband and wife on the unit, I don't think the hospital should let the husband and wife work together. I've traveled with a husband and wife, and they're on the same unit. They're a travel nurse, so maybe the hospital don't see it as a hindrance, but they do their work. They're not. But when it comes to new relationship on the unit, and it's causing other nurses to feel like they're pulling their weight. Every time you're looking for Sarah, Sarah is never around. Never. And you're looking for John, he's not around. They're both on the same unit. Where are they? Why do you have to keep doing his work? The biggest complaint and the biggest thing that I have seen is working with male nurses who are entitled, male nurses who have manager who just love them. They can do no wrong. They kind of take advantage of those situations. And I'm being honest, they might come on my DM and say, in other words, they take advantage in terms of leaving early. I remember working my job in Georgia, and there was a male nurse, and he would say, he must have lived close by. He said, I'm going on my lunch break. Okay, lunch break is 30 minutes for us. But this is like 2 or 3 hours. What you do? Went home and get a nap? And then come back, and nobody did anything, and you couldn't even say anything about it. Then you would see things like, disruptive, the manager having an affair with the male staff, and that's allow him to get whatever he wants and do whatever he wants, and this arrogance, like, I'm not going to get fired. If anything, you're going to get fired. So those kind of disruption to the unit cause a lot of nurses to be angry. And I remember one time in Philadelphia when the husband comes to the unit, and it caused me to get angry when I was working at that job in Georgia, because, it was like one male nurse, and he was getting all the overtime. When I say getting all the overtime, and I was the only PRN, so I was like the new kid on the block. So whatever they don't want, if they were a little tired, they will give it to me. So I actually wasn't there that much. But when I was there, I was frustrated because I would left. If we worked night shift with him, he would go away and he would come back in the morning. And the other nurses know it. And I didn't get a lunch break because if I'm the only nurse on the unit and we're dealing with kids that are depressed, kids who might cut themselves, I'm not going to leave the unit and go to lunch. So I would have lunch there. And if you ever you want to get away sometime, but you can't from the floor, it's a good idea to get away from the floor, but you need another nurse to monitor the floor. The techs are there, yes, and they would say, go take your break. But I just didn't feel right doing that because you never know, admissions come. And he would get away with things that I felt frustrated because there was no one to talk to. All the nurse was there. They enjoyed doing his work while he'd come back rested in time for administration. So one night I went out just to get some fresh air outside because not to go in my car. The moment you go in your car at night shift and you just close your eyes, you're never coming back out. So I don't go in my car. I just go in to get some fresh airs to wake me up. And I was like hiding behind this, it's like a post or a pillar, if you want to say it, brick pillar. And I see that the administrator or nurse manager, I should say, DON, pull up. And guess who came out the car? It was that guy. So it didn't make sense. If I say, oh, he wasn't here all night and he's getting paid for that. He's coming out of the DON car. Who's going to believe me? What do I say to her? Then she's going to be mad with me. I'm only PRN. And then he used to brag how he made a lot of money and she was the DON, so he was getting all the overtime. So these are disruption to the unit. These are disruption to other nurses because it's not fair. Anyway, you might say life is not fair. It's not. So I've learned to, what I see, I act like I don't see it. But there's a lot of that going on in the nursing, in the hospital setting. A lot of people may say night shift, they have a lot to play around. I see it a lot on nights. Travel nurses, in terms of travel nurses, I see them when they come on these travel assignment, and some of them is married. They forget they're married. It's getting heated. So, the disruption to the unit, and management do step in when the unit is being disrupted. And when we say that is if it's affecting the patient. If patients start complaining, hey, he's never in here. He's here talking with this girl all the time. Because sometimes they notice it too. And when the patients start noticing, then management and administration going to hear about it. And they may do a separation to another unit. Or because they don't really fire them. I think I'm not sure the law about that, to have an extramarital affair on the job. It becomes a problem. Like one day, I believe I was working in Georgia or one of those states, and the husband came looking for his wife. She hadn't been home the night before. I don't know what she told him, but he was very irate. He had to be escorted out the building. And that's danger to us because you never know what could happen. How you affect people emotionally, and that was an eye-opening. There's love affair do happen. You fall in love with someone that you're close with, another nurse. I wouldn't personally date another nurse. And I did date a nurse, but it didn't turn out well. So maybe that's why I'm not interested in dating nurses. But there are many nurses travel with that are husband and wife, and some are on the ICU unit together. I don't know any in psych. They know how to handle themselves. But when I was on staff, That's what I didn't like, is when they have these romantic affair. And then the worst part of the disruption is when they break up. Somebody else new came and take over. And what happened? It could turn ugly. And you don't want to be there when it is. When this job that I became, got a job at a kids facility. A lot of male staff work there. It's mostly like a crisis center, and there was a lot of male staff and as tech and nurses. And the African guy that I was working with, he was from Nigeria, and I didn't know at the time what was going on, because I don't get to, the type of person I am. I'm focused when I'm there to do my work, and move on. I'm not there for any relationship. I'm not here for any whatever affairs that you're in. So whatever he was trying, he would smell like he took a shower in his cologne, and he wear these shoes, you know, the pointed one where you just snub the cockroaches. I don't mean it like that. You know what kind of shoes I'm talking about. A cologne that he had on, it wasn't my cologne that I wanted to smell. So to me, it smelled irritating to my nose, I should say. Be nice. And I didn't know why he was doing all that. And then he would come all dressed up, because in psych, you don't have to wear a uniform if you don't want. They like you to wear regular clothes with the kids or with the adult. And he was dressed so nice. That's what he thought, right? With those pointed shoes. And I didn't even notice all, do it. And he would be kind to me. Oh, I'll do this, I'll do that. And I'm not noticing it. So I'm still not noticing. I'm just oblivious. I'm just so to the world, in my own little world. And then a friend of mine, she said, Patrice, he likes you. I'm like, really? Anyway, so I just ignored it. And then I found out one day, no, before that, one day he said, I already know, because I already talked to him, because we working together 3 to 11. I know that he's married. He's from Nigeria, yes. He's building a house in Nigeria. I know that his wife is the lab assistant in the hospital. And he controlled all the money, he told me. So one day he called me and he said, come with me outside. And I'm like, where you going? You going to party tonight? And I'm like, just be nice. So he went to his car. He called me to his car, and I went out there on my break with him. And he opened this bag, and he showed me a bunch of money in it. And if you're a fool, you would be drawn into the money. Oh, he got a lot of money. Let me just get with him. But since I'm a little wiser, at least I thought so, he was showing me a paper bag full of money. I'm like, we could go out. We could do this. I'm like, please, you send me, when I was going to the store and he asked me to buy something, he didn't even ask me, do you want something? And he asked for his change, and his change was 50 cents. But now you want to take that little bag of dollars? Because I didn't see what was in it, but I bought a bag of dollars and take me out. Take me where? Where you going to take me for that? After I already heard that some of the ladies been to not the Marriott or the Hilton, but they've been to Motel 66 with him. I already know all that, but I'm like, so those things wasn't fazing me. So when he was coming at me, then another nurse who's a tech that's out there with the other guys, and she put a bug in my hair. She said, Patrice, they got a bet on you. Bet on me? What kind of bet they have? To see which one gonna get you first. So I'm going to call him Johnny. Johnny is trying his best and all these other texts. No wonder they were coming at me like hawks. You know, when you first got to a job, they come at you like hawks. They already got other person, because I know the nurse supervisor, they went on a vacation together. Not a vacation, but like a weekend trip. And they already come back and told us what happened. So now they all bet, well, if the lottery was something that I could win, I wouldn't be there. And the difficulty that the lottery, welcome to the lottery, because you ain't going to win me. I know, I'm corny. Anyway, so they had a bet. Which one going to get me first? And he was the one he wanted, because he think, oh, he's a nurse and he's working close by her. She's going, So I was wondering, and then I start looking. Yeah, he was coming. The perfume was stinking to me. So if that's how he was trying, hello. So they try everything. So you don't know what's going on with these guys in their mind, or these ladies. They're competing behind the scene to see which one. Disruption. So nurses having secret affairs, all sorts of secret affairs. It shouldn't matter, and it's none of my business, so long as you keep it to yourself, so long as it doesn't interrupt with patient care, so long as it doesn't interrupt with how you behave on the unit. It doesn't have to be out in everybody's face. Do your work, take your break, come back, perform your duty. But when it goes overboard, then I think that's a cause for complaints. And if you've ever been to California, I'm not sure. California is the only one that I know of that when you go into the travel assignment, I think they do it for their staff too. You have to watch the video, and the video is very long. You could do it at home. It's long. Let me tell you, it's a long-ass video about harassment, unwanted touch, because sometimes the relationship turn out disruptive. I use the word disruptive, negative, and they flip it just to save their skin, just to save their job. So nurses are human. They make mistakes. So it happened in the nursing field too. So don't let nobody tell you these affairs, these night hawkers, these night walkers at night. Things happen. These patient rooms are utilized some other ways, and it ain't making beds. So I wanted to come out here and end this entanglement. Nurse managers, love affairs, and disrupting the unit. Travel nurse come to an assignment thinking, I'm free. I don't have to deal with the home life. My husband is there at home while I'm here. Let me just, But the thing about that, I have to speak about that. Because it happened recently while I was in the West. The nurse that I know, and when I went up on they had a roof. It was in Vegas. We were in Vegas. So I guess what's in Vegas, stay in Vegas, like they say. And then you ever been on that, the hotel, and on the top, the rooftop, and it just go around like this, and you could see the whole city. And I looked over and I saw the nurse. They were having candlelight dinner, and I know she's married. Yeah, I met her husband, and she was like lean over, and and then he takes the food and he put it in her mouth, and she put it. I didn't even go over there. I just went my other way. Look. and keep it moving. That's all. Because, to be honest, I have a thing about, and that's because growing up, my issues with my dad, how they forget their family and they go out and have all these many affairs, and who suffer but the kids. So I am not too keen of hanging around females that are married, that they're holy, and in between extra they're fooling around with a married man or a married woman, and I'm not too keen about those type of friendship. Or some of the guys say, oh, you can't be with her, she's single, when it's the person who are single are more, that's who they really should trust. Because it seems like marriage is a sham for some of them. And I'm going to leave it like this. If you like this channel, please support me. Like, share. Hit the notification bell. I don't know if you're getting my notification, but I want you to just continue to support me. I appreciate you. Thank you for stopping by.